I'm nervous.
As a Christian, could you object to a private employer displaying a gay pride flag as part of their cultural diversity program?
First of all, I know that I would object to it to myself, but it depends on how much that it was pushed, because I know that that's something that, it's a thing where people don't want to offend other people nowadays. And if it was something that was really pushed in the workplace, I would first pray about it and how to handle the situation, because I believe that God gives you wisdom of how to handle certain situations in the world, and when the world pushes their views instead of a Christian's view. But I definitely would object to that and just let my opinion be known about, I really don't really care for that. But if there was something that was going on where there was other diversity flags that were put out as well, I don't think that it would be something, that would offend me terribly. But my name would be on the company. If I work for a place, then my name is tied to it, and what the place stands for, that's what I would stand for as well. So I would definitely tell my boss that I do object to that, because it is definitely a lifestyle that the Bible tells us to go against.
Okay. Do you have to attend this cultural diversity program as a Christian or as an employee?
It depends. If the employer, of course, gave me the choice, I would absolutely say no. If my job was on the line, I would think about what is going to be in this cultural class. Is it going to be about many different things, or is it only going to be about gay and lesbianism and how to accept them in the workplace, and how not to be discriminating towards those particular people? I would also, if my job is on the line, and that's mainly what the class was talking about, I would start to seek other employment. I do have an aunt in my family who is a lesbian, and she has gone to a state that does marry gay and lesbian people, and I don't condone it, although I do love her. She does not bring her partner around our family when she does, come around. So I do handle this situation in my family as well. We're not, extremely close to her, because of course she lives out of the state, but this is something that happens in my own family, and although I do love her, I love the sinner, but I hate the sin, and I know that God doesn't look on it with a positive light either.
Okay, if you were in a workplace and there was 15 or more employees, do you think that workplace has the right to make you attend that cultural diversity program?
I don't think so.
So is it based just on your beliefs, is what you're saying?
I think, well, it's just like, our job here at Faith Academy. There are provided in services that we have to go to. Mm-hmm. When we do go to those things, we get credit for them, and that we must attend. However, if we don't attend, we don't get the credit for it. But in the state of Alabama, we have to go to a certain amount of them to keep our license. So it really depends on, if they're really pushing this, and you're either doing this or you're not, and it's something that I stand strongly against as far as my Christian beliefs, then I definitely would not attend. And I don't believe that they should make you to attend something as far as that's concerned, if it's just one thing being pushed the whole class.
Well, thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, ladies.
As a Christian, would you object to a private employer displaying a gay pride flag as part of their cultural diversity program?
Would I object?
Would you object to that?
Yes. If they were my employer, I sure would. I would, of course, have to share my opinion with them.
Okay. Now, in your religious beliefs, if you had over 15 employees, or if you were a part of that 15 employee and they made you go, would you?
I wouldn't go.
Okay, but would you lose? Would you want to lose your job, or
I
would you?
I would be looking elsewhere for a job. First of all, I probably wouldn't be working at this private employer, because as soon as I found out that was the deal, then I would either turn the job down or look elsewhere. I'd have to be pretty hard up for a job to
Okay, and
together.
Do you think you should have to attend that program?
Absolutely not.
Okay. So, based on your religious beliefs, you think you should not have to do that?
I think I would not.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. As a Christian, would you object to a private employer displaying a gay pride flag as part of their cultural diversity program?
Yes, I would object, because I feel like it would infringe on my religious beliefs.
Well, what are your religious beliefs?
Well, as you said, as a Christian, so I have believes that as a Christian, I can object to anything that's not biblically sound principles, and I believe that has to do with dealing with the fact of sin and sexual sin. And so that falls outside of the realm of the way God intended us to be with a husband and a wife.
Well, do you think that you have to attend this diversity program if you are under if you're under like an employee, or not an employer, but under somebody like the head boss or whatever, and you have over 15 employees and they actually require you to go? Would you leave the workplace, look for another job? Would you go? What would you do?
I would object to going, first of all, and if it was a problem with my boss that I did not go, then I would probably look for another job.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am. You're welcome.
As a Christian, can you object to a private employer displaying a gay pride flag as part of their cultural diversity program? Or do you have to attend their cultural diversity program?
Well, that's two questions. One is, can I object to? Yes, I can object, because in America, you can object to anything. There are those people, of which I would be included, who would object to abortion. But then there are other people who would object to somebody being against abortion. So yeah, I can object to it. I can express my opinion because of the freedom of speech. Now, as to whether or not the employer could make me go to the cultural diversity program, if I objected on the grounds of sincerely held religious beliefs, and that is a sincerely held one with me, that homosexuality is wrong, then they can't make me. The problem is, I would probably have to get a lawyer, fight it that way, or push it, and then I'd have to wonder, well, what kind of problems is this going to cause at work? And it might be easier just to give into it. I'd have to decide if it was a battle I needed to fight, or just needed to let go because it was something he just was being made to do by the government, because sometimes the government makes employers do something. But if he was doing it to try and make me appreciate gay, then I would definitely object, because no way I can appreciate that any more than I can appreciate abortion, or I had something else in mind. I can't think of it right now, but that doesn't mean I wouldn't want to be friends with them or try and get them involved in church, things like that. But yeah, if I thought it was a fight worth fighting, I'd have to rebel against it. Realizing I might could lose my job, and then I would have to take it to court, and I'm still going to be without money and got to pay a lawyer. There's a lot involved. There's sacrifice involved if you stand up for principles.
Thank you for your time.
You're very welcome.
Before the Civil Rights Act of 1964 was passed, an employer could reject an applicant because of their race, religion, sex, or national origin. Title VII makes it illegal to discriminate on basis of one's race, religion, sex, national origin, and color. Title VII also protects all employees as well as applicants. All companies with 15 or more employees are required to go by these laws.
Employees should give employees advance notice of the nature and context of training. Also, employees should have the right to opt out of objectionable diversity training if it violates their religious beliefs. In order for an employee to be protected under Title VII, he must show that 1. He holds a sincere religious belief that conflicts with an employment requirement. 2, he has informed the employer about the conflict. And 3, he was charged, disciplined, or subjected to discriminating treatment for failing to comply with conflicting employment requirement.
When employers violate Title VII by requiring employees to participate in a program that violates employees' sincerely held religious beliefs without their advance notice, employees have the right to opt out in the future.
As a Christian, would you object to a private employer
Go ahead
displaying...
and stop it.
I don't have a chair. She don't have a chair.